The RAM-pocalypse continues as RAM prices continue to rise. Dell, Lenovo, and Framework have all announced price increases and other changes due to DRAM shortage. Framework, investment disclosure for Mr. Linus Sebastian, says their DDR5 memory configs for their DIY edition laptops are going to go up by 50%, with possible plans to increase by even more later on. Dell sent an email to internal employees informing of price changes, including their Dell Pro and Pro Max notebooks, going up between $520 and $765 for the 128 gig version, or $130 to $230 for the 32 gig models. With TrendForce even predicting that Dell and Lenovo may be going backwards and limiting devices to only have 8 gigs of RAM and smaller storage capacity. Discussion question. Good luck, everybody. How do you stay excited about tech? It seems like it's bad news after bad news, whether it's hardware pricing, shifting subscription-based models, or even frustrating video game news. What keeps you motivated to make tech content? Well, that's the world, I think. I think it's bad news after bad news, whether it's pricing of things, everything in the world switching to subscription-based models, or just frustrating news about the things that we like.
I'm gonna come in here with a hot take that may actually end up being a full video on the channel, because this is gonna ruffle some feathers.
Oh boy!
But I think that we, as tech enjoyers, might just need a bit of a perspective adjustment. In the grand scheme of things, and maybe this is, again, I'm coming at it from my perspective, right? As a 90s kid, a gaming computer was started at thousands of 90s dollars. And today, in 2025 dollars, thousands of dollars will get you a sick gaming computer, even in the midst of a RAM-pocalypse. There are other challenges that are putting pressure on disposable income.
Yeah.
You can say it sucks, but if you compare it to...
I don't think saying we need a perspective adjustment makes sense, though. When people's incomes are lower relative to costs, when things that are required for living, like health insurance, housing, food, all those types of things, those costs are going way up.
100%.
The relative money to spend on things is significantly lower. So we don't have the luxury of spending that much on a for fun computing device that someone may have had in the past.
Let me expand on my point.
Sure.
Here's another big difference compared to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if you were using a computer from 10 years prior, it was literal garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
But now you can play relatively modern games. Like I have told the story a few times. I forget which game it was. It might have been Arc Raiders, but I've been telling the story a few times about the son of a buddy of mine who's playing on a 2500K and playing some modern game. I don't remember which one it was.
So here's that's the thing. Is a kit of RAM way too expensive right now? Am I paying? So here, hold on.
Are you guys making that video? Because I've been refraining talking about the thing. You're making that, not the one you just mentioned, but the one I messaged you about, the marketplace one?
Possibly. It turns out it might be stale already. DDR4 prices are skyrocketing, and more importantly, AM4 X3D chips are skyrocketing. Apparently 5800 X3Ds are going for
figuring this out.
$700,
I just
$800.
was hoping we'd make the video before then. But
so right now, a 16 gig kit of RAM is around $200 US. What that means to the budget for the $550 gaming PC that we built a little while ago that we did a video about with an Arc GPU and a reasonably priced CPU, kind of value power supply, is that you'd probably be adding about $100 to $140 to that budget. So today, in the midst of the RAM-pocalypse, you can still build a high-end 1080p, mid-tier 1440p gaming PC for $700, which is a lot of money and stuff. But compared to just about any other hobby, tech and gaming have been more inflation-proof. Name one Name anything.
Yeah, this was a really interesting conversation around the price of video games going up.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I can fully understand people still being frustrated. You're right.
100%.
I think what you're saying is fair, but people's ability to buy it is still non-existent. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, hold on.
It can be as reasonable as it wants. If I don't have the money to buy it, it's still annoying.
Hold on. Because, but you also don't need to buy something brand new, which is something that we have talked about so much on this channel. So that's where...
But then you're saying price increases for those things are happening as well.
Yes, if you go after, the hottest items. So if you want to buy, a 5800X3D, sure.
But if you know what to look for.
Which is what we're here for, right?
I feel like DDR4 RAM, though, you're not really looking for specific parts. Everybody's just going to search DDR4.
I don't know it's the RAM that's as bad as the way that the
platforms
accompanying components are also going up. Sure. So I'd need to look into it some more. This is one of those ones that we've kind of scrummed what we basically want to talk about, but we haven't sort of nailed down what the exact concept is for the script. I mean, I can tell you this much. A secondhand kit of DDR4 is definitely going to cost you as much as $60 to $70 less than a brand new kit of DDR5, which is a significant savings. That is a meaningful savings.
Right. I don't know if it was right when, but relatively short after the announcements of these RAM issues, if you went on stuff like Facebook Marketplace, whatever, you could get a lot of DDR4 for not a lot of money. Someone in chat talking about DDR3, you're starting to get pretty old.
I wouldn't go back to DDR3.
Yeah.
I also don't think it's necessary to go back to DDR3.
It depends where you're at and stuff.
Fire Panda Sasquatch asks, where are you pulling that from? I'm looking at eBay right now. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where we can look at what's going on, where we've got the COVID crypto winter. We had the crypto winter, which was exacerbated by the COVID silicon shortage. And then we had basically a multi-year sort of recovery from that as soon as it happened, literally, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks after we recorded the MSRP PC video, where we were like, holy crap, for the first time in years, you can buy a PC where every component is at MSRP. The RAM shortage hit, right? And so we can look at this and we can go, oh, well, building computers totally sucks and we should never do it again.
Yeah, I know.
Or hear me out. Just a second here. If we actually track compared to quite literally anything else, right? Look at what a board game cost.
I don't even necessarily disagree with you, but sure. I would be remiss to not point out that it doesn't mean it doesn't suck. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to push things out of acceptable ranges for people.
Of course it doesn't suck. Or of course it sucks. It totally sucks.
I think your opening of people need whatever it was, reality check or whatever it was is just not
It's more that I wish people were a little bit more appreciative of the work that goes into keeping these things as affordable as they are. We did that recent tour of Kioxia, their fab.
Dude, anytime you see a fab at all, it's just dude, how the hell do I buy one of these things for the amount of dollars that I get it for? It's crazy.
It's amazing. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm coming fresh off of the actual literal miracle, the wonder of the world that it is that we can make a microprocessor at all. And then I'm going over into I'm so angry that the $500 computer is now $700 when a $500 computer is a miracle in the first place, and so is a $700 computer.
That doesn't mean you can't be annoyed about constant extreme collusion and all these other things going on. But it is still, yeah. It is still neat that our hobby is surprisingly cheap.
And the fact that over the last several years, we've gotten to the point where you literally do not have to give Microsoft $100 of your dollars on top of all the hardware you bought anymore.
Linux.
That's so cool. Like, can we just take a breath for a second?
It could be,
and look at the positives.
It could be interesting to, because I think this event, as hot as the used market has gotten at various times, it was mostly just for GPUs. I think this event is going to crank the used market for practically everything. I've done some searching since I sent that message. Doing a Scrapyard Wars right now would just suck, I think, to be completely honest. But I think it would be interesting, maybe, I don't know if we get the clicks, but making a video on like how to try to validate hardware when buying stuff from a used market.
I've done
as
it.
best as you can.
No one cared.
No one cares.
I try so hard to like bring people to the like,
come on,
secondhand
there's
water.
Good water here. There's really good water here.
Like I did that.
You just gotta drink.
I did a video called "I Solved the GPU Price Crisis" or whatever, where basically I just like bought a 3080 secondhand and showed how to, like, you know, what to look for to not get scammed, and how to test it and how to validate it before you take it home, and like, and how to pick one that has like a transferable warranty, and like basically, it was like a mini Scrapyard Wars of just like buying a GPU.
How to.
Absolutely bombed.
Nobody
Video
cared.
Bombed, tanked. No one wants to hear it.
Dude, I was at Willow yesterday.
Yeah.
Willow Video in Langley, it's a based used place, and I was showing Emma like somewhat of this phenomena because we were there together. I don't know if, I think she's been there before, I'm not sure, but I was pointing out like, look, there's Spider-Man 2 for PS5 right there behind the desk, all sealed, or there's Spider-Man 2 for PS5 right here on the other side of the counter, unsealed, and there's like a $30-something difference. It's the same game. Come on. And people will still walk in there and just buy the new one. It's like, damn.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't fathom it. It doesn't compute for me.